Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Locum23. You're joining me for Choice of the Stories You Play, weekly recap. We have a lot to get into, so let's get started. Freshman, we're starting off with Chris, James, Caitlin. Do you get it? I know I get it. Do you get it? So pretty much, if you think about it, through all the three books, we do have a lot of times where we just take the ball. We fall on our sword. We take the blame. We just, yeah, I get it. I get it. I mean, it's really too many times, and we really get put last a lot of the times, if you really think about it. Just think about this. We had this discussion with Caitlin when we were watching over Gabriel's son, Professor Vasquez's grandson. And pretty much Caitlin's like, oh no, I won't do it. And for every person who had a love interest like Chris or James, they had their own, hey, I promised to spend a lot more time with you, I promised to get close, or you had your choice of ending the relationships entirely. Some fans chose to do that, to go after Zig. And then lo and behold, a lot of people are regretting that decision because Zig has turned into a dick. Thanks, Pixelberry. We'll get into that here in a minute. So, firstly, with James this morning, and him going, hey, I'm calling to spend some time with my friend, doesn't. He doesn't spend any time with you. Chris leaves to go to the meeting, and Caitlin just blows you off and, pretty much. So, firstly, the James thing, wow. I mean, James, you get called off not once, but twice during the call. And I almost felt like I should have just, been like, hey, how's this for dead click? Um, Hopefully they rectify that, because he's supposed to be calling you back in a few days to a week. Chris pretty much didn't rectify anything. He's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, we'll go for coffee later, I'll be showing up at the concert. Doesn't do it either. And then Caitlin's spending pretty much every waking moment with her band. Which I think to the point where I feel like the James thing's gonna happen with Caitlin. I feel like she's gonna make it big with the Gutter Kittens. And then the same drama is going to be blown up into proportion because here she is now going on the road and doing band things with this girl who pretty much everyone as it stands can't stand her as it is. And it's not like Caitlin's gonna look at you and be like, so do you want to quit college and be one of my bandies and go around with me? And, James didn't do it. Why would you? No, because you're doing this book. I feel like that's one of the reasons why they put Zig in there, to give you an alternative. And then, like I said, Chris blew us off twice as well. I feel like this whole entire chapter was about. For me, I deal with it real life, so I have come to be accustomed to this. I've come to be, you're in the middle of texting somebody and they just vanish. I'm in the middle of pretty much, you're talking to somebody and they mainly want to talk about their shit. Even though you're in the middle of like a sentence, they'll cut you off and then talk about themselves or talk about their shit. To the point where, you label those people and you're like, well, okay, this person is this way, this person is this way, and I'm going to have to either come to accept this from that person or I'm going to have to, well, find some new friends. Um, Next part, cutting the scholarships. Oh, it's going to really help the school. No, it's not, Sebastian. And allow me to tell you why. Pretty much, have you ever heard of a really successful school that has no scholarships whatsoever, no grants, no nothing, and it really just says, hey, come to our school, we have a really great education, but don't expect us really to give you anything besides a great education. And hoping that you have a great education, because who's to really say that Hartfeld has a really great education? We haven't even met the dean yet. So, and we don't even know what the dean's like, which apparently we're supposed to in a future chapter meet the dean. So we'll get to see that, how that works out, and what he's exactly gonna say. Is he smart? Is he dumb? Does he even give a shit? We'll find out. Caitlin never there for the main character anymore, and pretty much it's even to the point where Abby and some of the other characters are feeling it. Won't we? I believe we just talked a little bit about this, but yeah. I feel like we should have got back at her by having an option to not support her. Could you imagine, you finally realizing that Abby and all these other people have brought up complaints to you about you're not there for them, and finally we're not there for you? I feel like that should have been an option. the diamonds for the outfit to support Caitlyn, especially when you're talking about how Caitlyn isn't supporting you, is redundantly dumb. And it doesn't change much of anything. Chris ditching then for the library instead of going to the gutter kittens thing. Boy, we make a big deal out of that, and we point that out because something came up, but yet doesn't give our main character or the rest of the group that option not to go. And in fact, by you going, kind of makes Abby want to go then, because she wants to be with the rest of her friends and maybe try and make up with Caitlyn, which they didn't. They served no absolute purpose. And then finally, the fight breaking out. Really, Zig? So, I feel like Pixelberry's been really on this, I don't know if the writer of Zig or something has turned him into a prick, but yeah, he is. I really was starting to like him. I felt like he was a new alternative to dating that someone would really like. And a lot of people even went off and did specific Zig storylines where they were like, you know what, I want Caitlyn, I want James, and I want Chris. I want Zig, and I know he's coming. Um, so pretty much people went for that, and now it's just Zig will start swinging at anybody. I kind of felt like he was the love hacks guy. He goes into a bar and just beats the shit at everyone because he wants to. Um, I mean, the whole fight and everything could have been kind of alleviated had Zig not got, up in the guy's face, started shoving, and then throwing punches. And then that caused everyone else to have an issue and a fight breaking out. Um, that, I guess we'll see the reprehensives and the repercussions of that in the next chapter, which is coming out in the next couple days. That's pretty much it for freshmen. Hopefully they fix Zig, because I never knew Zig was a real hothead. I knew he had some issues, but really? So Endless Summer, I believe because of the file, I believe Alistair, especially because in the file it said fire the tour guide, which is Leela, for even accepting him along, um, and also because of the situation. And then he's trying so hard to fit in like, he's in his father's shadow. His father kind of like feels, the story of, like, say, Tony Stark and his dad. And he was in that shadow, so he tried, and then he started rebelling, and he just went another way. Well, Alistair's tried, and he's at least not rebelled and got drunk and alcoholic and everything. He didn't go down the entire Tony Stark story, or I would have been like, Tony? So Leela, I feel like, sent the reply. Someone sent a reply, and it sure as hell wasn't his dad, about, hey, yeah, sure, you get on that plane, buddy, and you come on down here. Someone sent that reply. I feel like it would have been Leela, because Iris had no clue. Iris did not have access to the email. Iris did not know until a DNA scan that he was even related to your Rourke. And she wouldn't have known until he was in the facility. And she's in the background running DNA scans as soon as I got in there and whatnot. So, pretty much, Rourke wanted Leela, who's the tour guide, to be fired. And then they finally threw in the question of they look the same. Bias towards women to look the same. So pretty much if you were to pick that, why do you both look the same? Iris answers, and they give you -2 with Layla and +2 with Iris for asking that question. And basically he has a bias for women who look the same. Which even brings me more questions, because they literally are identical. If you were to take Iris out of holograph form, put her in her person, make a body, basically a mold around her, and she would look identical to Leela. Um, then the fact that Iris is like, I scan your DNA all the time. And you ask a question about that, and Leela's like, no, don't answer that. One, you're who are you again? Secondly, the whole I'm a tour guide, I can only do a certain amount. Dude, really? The tour is over. We are facing certain death. What are you gonna be? Impaled with a spear and go, okay, finally, I will tell you the secret. What? I don't give a shit. We're all dying. I vote also Michelle off the island. I swear if this was the that one show that was canceled, I would vote her off the island. She seems really pampered, coddled, and a toddler. And I pretty much voice that in the chapter as well, because she's sitting there going, "Oh, but what about tomorrow? Tomorrow? How about living in the moment? This tomorrow, God! Right now, the world. Okay, so we've in the previous chapters we've radioed out. The whole world's ending out around us, right? Or something's going on because the mountain we're by erupted and killed everyone on the planet. So, right now, as we know it, modern day civilization and life, except for on that island, is wiped out. Everybody's dead except for these avatar looking people. So let's take that into account. I hate to tell you this, you're an idiot. Tomorrow is unknown. Tomorrow literally is unknown. You don't have a plane, you don't have a boat, you can't radio, you can't do anything to get off this island, okay? So come to accept this. Okay? Unless this is a simulation, you are stuck in it. Okay? Unless this is a Matrix and you're in the virtual reality, kind of like when we go back to Love Hacks in a couple, about a chapter ago. Unless this is virtual reality and you are somehow, being drugged and you're in this virtual reality, nope, there's no tomorrow. You're not going back to college or doing whatever. There's no degrees. You are going to be lucky to live on this island. Um, so she really needs to get over that. Raj, the accent, I really wanted to talk like this, and it was really cool for me personally when I'm going like this. But then I felt like St. Patty's Day was breaking through, man, and I wanted to drink, and yeah, man. So like, we've gone to Jamaica, yeah. Um, so I think I'm just gonna go back to the kind of like we look, but the little accent like this. Um, I think I'm gonna go back to that, which was something that we were able to do, and it was more fluid. And it was something that we practiced from Crown of the Flame. I am looking forward to Whitlock when the Crown of the Flame Book 3 that they are currently working on does in fact come out. Um, so I guess we'll see how that works. That's cool. If you didn't know about that, well, you do now know. Um, Zara, what the hell is up with stereotypical people in the series? First it's Zeg, being the beat everyone's ass now. And now Zara, she has a stereotypical substance abuse problem. I say problem very loosely, and yet it pretty much portrays her. She has a huge substance abuse. She feels like, on if you ever watch Breaking Bad, she's kind of like the chick who, drank all the time and got high on drugs and then started throwing up and dying because Walter just let her because he thought Jesse was going to learn the lesson. That's where I feel like Zara is. I feel like she has a huge substance abuse thing, and then she's also rebelling, but she rebels against everyone. She hates everybody. And that's how those people are. Like, give me my drugs, give me my substance, and then I don't give a shit. And it feels like what Hollywood portrayals, and they really need to stop that. Zara's an individual. We really haven't went into her besides substance abuse. Um, which the only time she'll like you is when you're involved in substance abuse with her. The next one, because it kind of pisses me off. The next one is the Diego confession, which pretty much to male and female characters alike, he did confess that. So keep that in mind. If you're a female, he confessed the same. So pretty much he likes a guy that's on the group. So taking into account that, we've got Sean, we've got his buddy, we've got Alistair, we've got Raj? Maybe Raj. Maybe. I could see it. Because Raj, you could tell isn't in anyone either, if you really think about it right now. Raj isn't into anyone as well. He's kind of like a big teddy bear that actually cares about everybody. I kind of feel like maybe just Diego's afraid, and I swear that if they give you a diamond choice to tell him to go after it like they did in, well, they've done it in Freshman. Actually, they've pretty much done it in every single book yet, where if there's like a choice to go after someone of the same sex, you have to pay diamonds. I've actually just thought about that. So that's really going to be a dick move if they choose to do the diamond thing. If you think about it, the side characters also, for like Horatio and everything, telling him to go after that delivery woman, That's another thing that they make you pay diamonds for. So I don't get that. And then also at the same time they make you pay diamonds for your own love interest, which that's redundant in and of itself. Kind of like they make you pay for diamonds for outfits that you already have in your closet, but apparently to fit into them is going to cost diamond. I don't know. Tarzan, everyone loved. I felt like that was a spur of the moment thing that I did. For the Tarzan. Oh, yeah. I just, it kind of hit me, kind of like everyone else. There's this guy on a vine swinging in through your window, which then had you sealed the base of the building. I wonder how that would have worked. Because you're sealing the base of the building so you're keeping everyone in, they can't escape, and you've got these people swinging in on vines. So, regardless of whether you hit the safe, walls to come down and block everything for a day, or this, I feel like it would have been a completely useless decision in and of itself. So, yeah. That's actually something I just thought about that I didn't make a note of. But I love that. I love that. A lot of people, a lot of people love that Tarzan moment. Moving on to rules of engagement. All around, and this is actually something for actually Endless Summer. Actually, for pretty much 3 out of the 4 books. I actually love the animations. I love the new artwork in the backgrounds. I really loved it. I wish Pixelberry. I mean, I guess you could, in a way, load up a chapter and when a song hits, I guess record it and then release it so people could listen to it. But there's been a lot of people who ask, Pixelberry for the songs or at least some tidbits of it to for like ringtones and things like that. I don't know. I'm not a big fond fan of it. I kind of like their music, but not to the point of, well, can I please download it? Um, so yeah, but I love the animations. Now that I would definitely ask for, especially that mountain peak with the moon in the back. That looked beautiful. Um, I would have taken that and put it either on my tablet or even my computer back screen if we could get high enough resolution for that. That was amazing. Um, Learning a lot more about your love interest. So for this other guy, William, um, which apparently they like the name William. Um, so learning a lot more about him. This quiet, he loves he loves doing the work, he loves doing everything, but then also coming and settling down and just relaxing. Um, and I feel like then his lawyer showed up. I feel like that shows us that William's liking you. He's willing to settle down. He's showing you this other part of him. So this fast and furious businessman that does all this incredible things and generates all this money and is always busy. It kind of shows that he's a pretty swell guy and someone you could like. I feel like they're showing you this side to really. I mean, let's put it this way: you can still make a choice. You still have through this whole entire book to make a choice on who you want by the end of the summer. So keep that in mind. So even though you were going to choose, you can always change your choice. So keep that in mind. It feels like when we came through from book 1 to 2, that did not carry over. So, yeah. Lawyer is a business partner. Also, keep that in mind. So, William, with his slowing down, his partner, figuring he makes money off of William, is worried. So he's like Yasmin from Freshman. He's worried that basically by William being involved with you and starting to slow down and starting to do this other side and invest more in you than he would generating a bunch of money for his business partner, well, he wants him to stay in the game and he's not going to want um, him to leave you. I feel like that's really going to be. I feel like he's doing exactly what Yasmin did with that character. I feel like he's going to do the same. Where you know what, I can right now. Here's the documents right here, and I can go ahead and break that marriage license. But you're going to have to leave William. Um, or he's going to put you through some tests and tribulation, things like that. Something revolving around that. But at the same time, he's using him for sure. Um, so this guy, I feel like in the next chapter, if they do, unless they carry over, because we still were left with that cliffhanger with Nicole, and then we've also got the boat cuisine and all that going on. I don't know if they're gonna flip flop back and forth, which to me, but it's their gig. Hopefully they carry on from this lawyer thing. If they swap back to Nicole though, all right, fine. Um, love hacks. The entire three-man date was cringe. The whole experience was cringe-worthy to me. Um, Not just the fact that, hey, ooh, yeah, just the three characters in of itself. The bin incident. Um, hey, you could come with me to see this. There's sad puppy dog eyes. There's all this. And then Diamond Choice stamped right there. I feel like Love Hacks is the only thing where the diamonds are about the only thing that would save this book if they were opened up and then gave you more exclusive diamond choices, because I just feel like they're holding a lot back, and I don't feel like Love Hacks is going to go the full coverage such as Endless or Crown the Flame or any of the other books. I just feel like Love Hacks is that book, which pretty much a lot of people talk about, and they're just like, eh. Um, it's a book. It's something, but I feel like they're Most Wanted too, man. Come on. Um, with that being said, besides the three-man date, Mark is an idiot. Um, it is time to move on. Hashtag Ben 2017. Um, Ben would accept the news also in case they try and go this way. I really hope it's not a diamond option because I'm gonna really be just pissed. I think Ben would accept the news that yes, you went on a date with him, you were writing an article, and you'd like to keep seeing him beyond the article, beyond the this is an experience with dating with this said person. And I feel like she would still be open minded, but I feel like her leaning towards Ben and really liking him is also going to come out in the article. Like he's a really great date versus these 9 other idiots. Well, actually, the ex was one that she kind of regretted, but they weren't going to see one another again. It was kind of like an on and there isn't much to pick up off of that. But it is the ex, and she did teach him a lesson, and then also, so I feel like we might see him in the future, but I don't feel like we are. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Ben and Mark is going to be it, unless something really disturbing happens or stupid happens. I don't even know why I said disturbing, because this is Love Hacks. It's about as boring as a Friends episode to me. Um, and I never was a person who watched Friends. I didn't really enjoy it. I'd rather watch Seinfeld than Friends. Let's put it that way. Um, so, well, let's see. Also Cole. Now, see, this could be funny. Cole and his arch nemesis. Now, see, this is something that I could see as a little bit funny, a little bit lighthearted. That's supposed to happen next chapter, where you are supposed to help Cole get into like a business opportunity against his arch nemesis or meeting, and he's let me meet you now. My alter ego is gonna meet you. Um, so I feel like that could be a little bit of fun, but yeah, so we're on to let's see, chapter 11. So there's at least 7 more chapters, hopefully, give or take, of Freshmen. We're on to chapter 415 this coming week of about 18, unless they go further than they have before. Rules of Engagement is still going to go on unless they cancel it early for Crown of the Flame or something. But Love Hacks is chapter 13 of 13. So eventually we're going to come to the point where 2 of these books are going to be ending, especially in 4 to 5 chapters. And then you think about it, Freshman Book 3 is pretty close to the other ones as well. Rules of Engagement is the only one that's going to keep going for at least 10 more. So, yeah. Crown of the Flame I know they're working on. Most Wanted we haven't heard nothing on, and so it's gonna be back to 3 books? Unless they reinforce, um, with another book? I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work out. Um, I guess we'll have to stay tuned to what they're gonna say. We may go down to 3 books. We may go to 4. I feel like 4 is where they're floating, but they were at 3 for quite some time. So they've been at 3 books a couple times now, actually, since the release of the Choices app. So they might actually stay at 3 books and then go up to 4. Because you've got eventually got to pick back up with Love Hacks. God, Jesus, no. I had to say it, didn't I? Endless Summer, you know, is going to keep going. You know, Freshman's going to keep going. You know, Crown of the Flames being processed. So those are 3 books that are definitely, you know, firm, hard for foundation. The other ones we'll see, because the Braidwood Manor is not getting a sequel. They said they might think of other books like that, but God, that really just you could take that character and you could say she was really psychically sensitive, and you could use her for something that like might be freshman oriented. Or, you know, she is on campus. Why not add her to the freshmen for a little bit of interesting twist on freshmen? And then also, I guess it would be hard because Eleanor, depending on if you kept her or not, that would be an executive choices decision, to keep Eleanor on? Or rumored? Or maybe they broke up? Or, that's really tough. Victor's another person who we've never seen in the coffee shop either. So it seems like it's just a Braidwood Manor-esque ending that, you know, I'm really surprised that Caitlin has never mentioned her, because it happened all around, I want to say book 1? Book 1, book 2? Yeah, it was actually about book 1. So, I'm surprised Caitlin all this time has not mentioned her friend. So yeah. Alright, well, this weekly recap I hope you all did enjoy. Feel free to leave any comments down the comment section below. Feel free to like and share. Hit that share button. Get it out there. Let more people see our content. Let's grow our family. We're almost up to 2,200 subscribers. We jumped, didn't we? We were at 19, about 50. We're like, hey, we're almost at 2K. We finally hit that 2K. Boom! Up to 21, like 50 or something. We're a little around there right now, but damn. Really awesome. Really growing our community. I love it. And also feel free to share. Get that content out there. And I already did share. Subscribe if you're not already, because you'll miss out on great content as well. Also, a little side note, no, I will not be covering Mass Effect Andromeda because it's a piece of shit game. I was going to initially, kind of like I did No Man's Sky, and I was really hyped for that game, but yeah, I'm not going to be covering that. Mass Effect Andromeda, I might when they roll out the fixes, which already they did quite a large fix for the game already, and there's still a ton more to fix, and a lot of reviews are coming in, and it's not so well for the game. As for the other games, we're going to keep doing what we're doing, because I need to pump out some Diamond Editions on today/tomorrow, because it's already going into Tuesday, and I promised that I was going to get at least 2 to 3 chapters out a week, and I'm kind of falling behind because I've been busy with other things. So keep that in mind. Tomorrow will be Most Wanted Day. Probably release about 2 to 3 minimum. I want to release even some on Wednesday, right before Choices goes live with its updated chapter, so look forward to that. Always feel free to check out my Twitter, my Facebook is all down there in the description, for following me to know when books and everything go live. Because as soon as they go, and as soon as we get them and record them, and even on the ones we've already done, we're doing the Diamond Editions, of course, but as soon as I post them, it gets updated pretty much on 4 to 5 different sites. So look forward to that. And then also, if you have not, and you are a Facebook member, there is 2 Facebook Choices groups. Feel free to look them up as well. It's where you can discuss a lot of your issues, or discuss your fanboy polls, or fangirling, things like that. So check that out on Facebook. And I hope you all did enjoy. And until next time, stay safe, stay awesome, and stay amazing. Whatcha?